right, we got Hayden Oliveira here. Hayden, thank you for joining me tonight, even though it took 27 minutes of troubleshooting on technology, trying to get this to work, that to work, but life is all about persevering and being resilient, and you and I were reminded of that tonight. So thanks for being here. You're at the end of your freshman year. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. It was fun. I liked freshman year. Freshman year was really good. I mean, there were some challenges that you had to get through as a freshman, like taking on a lot more responsibility. And yeah, it was really fun. I liked it a lot though. I'm glad I went to Helena High because I was originally going to go to Capital, but I'm very glad I went to Helena High.
Go Bengals. What went as kind of you anticipated and thought that it would? What kind of ended up being exactly what you thought it would?
Well, some of the things that I expected were that teachers were going to have like a higher expectation from you since you're going to be a freshman and you only have like 4 years left till even if you do go to college, so you need to have like a higher standard with things. I keeping up on your homework, that's a big one, especially if you're in extracurricular activities. If you miss part of the day at school, you need to go back and make sure you talk to your teachers about homework and stuff. At the beginning of the year when I was playing basketball, or during the winter slash fall when I was playing basketball, I just thought, oh, since I miss school, then I don't have to make up assignments, but I really do have to make up assignments. And like, for example, with math, like I was so behind because I would have like 2 games a week and I would be on bus rides and then not do any of my homework. And so that was a struggle. And I kind of got everything figured out. It's a lot easier if you go and talk to your teachers before you leave. And even though you don't like doing stuff on the bus or before like other teams play, I mean, it's not the best. I mean, you want to watch your team, but sometimes you have to do the things you have to do because your grades do matter if you want to play sports.
So I'm hearing management of your time with everything going on is critically important. I'm hearing
Yeah.
communication and upfront communication and proactive
Yeah.
communication with your teachers is an important skill. Speaking of extracurricular activities, what extracurricular activities did you partake in, and what was that experience like, and how do you think that benefited you in your first year of high school?
Um, So this year I played basketball this fall. It was like one of my favorite seasons of basketball, even though I love middle school basketball. I think it was fun to play with some of the kids that are coming in from East Helena and Montana City and just like a bigger group of people. And this year we were only going to be able to have 3 teams, like a freshman, sophomore combined, and then a JV and a varsity. But we had like a whole bunch. We like got a whole like group of girls to be able to come out and try out, and it's like one of my favorite seasons of basketball. Um, like the bus rides are like my favorite. Being able to connect, like doing karaoke on the bus and stuff, and just it's like it was like a family. Like if something like happened, like everybody cared about it. Everybody like cared for you, asked if you were okay, and like the coaches were amazing. Um, and then I played softball this year, which was really fun. Our team is actually at state right now. They just lost to Gallatin, but they're still doing great. Um, Softball was really fun. It taught me a lot about the game. This is my only third year playing, and I feel like I've improved a lot. And Coach Schulte, Coach Crawford, Coach Hogan, and Coach Clem did a really good job with our group of girls. There was, I think, about 8 or 9 freshmen that came in, which is a really good thing. And we have about, I think it's either 6 or 7 people leaving this year. So it'll be a big gap that we have to fill and be able to work together as a team. And team dinner is always fun, and just bus rides and being able to dress up on game days. And it's just fun to be like a part of like a community type of thing.
Awesome. Yeah, having that community. I think that's
Mhm.
why Helena High is like be involved, and that's so
Yeah.
important when you get in high school to be involved in something. What was some of the harder things your freshman year, and how did you kind of work through those things and persevere through?
I feel like at the beginning of freshman year, I took, as an eighth grader, I took Algebra 1 and then I took Spanish. And it kind of like it led into your high school. So like we had to do like testing at the beginning of the year to make sure like we were in the right placement for classes and stuff. I mean, it is hard. High school's definitely hard with schoolwork and stuff, but if you just stay on top of things and you're listening in class and not messing around, it gets pretty easy. But definitely keeping up on homework is like my main thing, and having good time management. At the beginning of the year, my time management was literally horrible, and then I had to figure out myself how to keep myself organized, how to keep myself like focused and entertained in class. I know some classes aren't like the best, but it's you have to stay focused, and if you want to be able to pass your class, because you have to pass your class if you want to do extracurricular activities.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of kids don't realize is that if
Mm-hmm.
you don't pass your class, you really have to redo it either the next year with the kids that are younger than you or summer school. Like some kids like literally don't believe that until they find themselves back in the same class. Let's switch gears a little bit, and you don't have to name names, but I'm sure a lot of kids are thinking social stuff, just with friendship stuff. What social changes did you see, or friendships evolving or not evolving? And again, I don't want you to name names because that's a little more personal, but any insight on any of that?
So the social piece, a lot of the middle school, like I feel like there's always like a group where it's like, oh my goodness, there's like so many popular kids, there's like so many not, and you like want to be able to hang out with like certain types of groups that there are. But in high school, you just there's like no groups anymore. Like you have like right now, I have like really, really good friends right now, and they like always have my back. It's just you don't always have to have a big group. It just has to be like a couple people that like that have your back, which is a good thing. But in high school, like if you're kind to everybody, they're usually going to be really, really nice to you. Like I've made a lot of friendships with extracurriculars, and like even in Spanish or in math, like because there's all different like kids in different grades. Like we have like sophomores and juniors in our Spanish class, and like just a whole bunch of different varieties of classes. But yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
do.
mixed in with more of the older kids. And so I think you get to high school, my recollection and memory is there's more
Yeah.
realistic chance that you're gonna have authentic friendships with like kids that are older, and even like next year or the next couple of years, kids that are even younger. I think that's more of a thing where in middle school it's kind of by your grade level.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things you miss about Helena Middle School? Is there anything where you're like, I didn't realize it, but I kind of miss that?
Yeah, I missed how we got to like it was like a smaller like not necessarily a smaller school, but like there was just like it just felt like a home. Even though Helena High does feel like a home, it's just there was like so many great teachers at Helena High or HMS, and you just like felt like you were like always welcome at HMS. There was teachers you can talk to, counselors, especially you can talk to. Um, it would just I just that's one of the things that I miss, like the friendships that I had with teachers and other kids, and like sometimes like last year I had like a bigger group of friends, and like now we're in high school, and so there's like other friends that are going to hang out with other people, and it's like it's sometimes it's sad, like you miss them and stuff, but we're just growing as human beings, and so you just kind of disperse in high school.
This is kind of off the cuff, but it almost feels like when you get to high school too, you have a better idea and it starts to become more crystallized of like who you are and your identity as a person. And does that help or kind of hurt everything in terms of the whole high school process?
Well, in middle school, everybody's going to be mean at some point in middle school. I was sometimes mean to my friends too, and I recognize that now. But um, be be grateful for who you're around, because you don't always know what somebody else could be going through, and it's sometimes it does suck, but I love going into high school with that, because I miss a lot of friends, but also at the same time it's nice because middle school you're like growing, learning who you want to be, figuring out who you want to be, how you want to act, what you want to do, like the right group of kids to hang out with, that like you don't want to be judged or anything. But I feel like it's
I,
just a lot different in high school, and like you just like become like your own person.
I feel like it's like a tree, and as you go
Yeah.
on in life, like you just slowly branch out from the middle and branch out from the middle. And yes, you branch out from who you used to be or friendships or relationships you used to have, but you find that on that outer branch, like if you're doing things right, if you're being respectful to people, if you're being true to yourself, you end up with probably even better and more solid and more authentic friendships on that branch because it's kind of been tried and true. What is like some kind of just final pieces of advice as kids get into the summer, our eighth graders get into the summer, and then they start at Helena High, or even some unfortunate souls are maybe going to Capital High School? Had to throw that in there. No, Capital's a great school as well. What is just some advice as kids move into high school? Just some final, like, couple pieces of advice.
They're gonna tell you like on the first day of school, it's kind of like a web day on the first day of school, but you're with like upperclassmen, like how you were like with eighth graders. Um, it's fun. They're gonna tell you go do clubs, go do all of that. And I was like, well, during my like first day of school, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do any of that. Like I'm obviously gonna do sports and stuff, but do it. Try out for new things. I wish I tried out for a couple of clubs this year, but I never got the chance to, and it's the end of the school year. So hopefully going into sophomore year, I will be able to join different clubs. Definitely do sports. Even if you don't think that you're the best at something, you're always going to be able to get better at something if you put the work in. Your grades do matter. In 3 years, I will be graduating, and you do need certain grades in certain classes to pass high school if you want to succeed. And for example, I want to be an ultrasound tech, so I need to like figure out my math and my science and the rest of my other classes that I need to take and work hard so then I can come out with a good result in the future, because not everything in life is going to be easy after high school. I mean, there's like financially all that, but you need to make sure, even though people say you don't, like, high school doesn't really matter, it really does matter for your future. Don't skip school. Do not skip school. That is like one of my things, is do not skip school. I've only missed, not including sports, I've only days this year, and I'm really glad, because I know some people in my grade that have like missed a lot and they were very behind on things, and it just kind of creates like a bad reputation for them, and that like teachers are not going to necessarily trust them, so the teachers are going to be a lot harder on them about things. Even if like you go for like 3 periods, and then you skip a class, it'll mark you unverified. I've tried that. Yeah. Never do that again. But
well, and I think if you show up with a good attitude and you're consistently there, teachers are going to go the extra mile to help you out and to get you to the finish line. But if you're missing school all the time, and then when you are in school and you have a crummy attitude or you're not being respectful, I kind of sometimes think that's a different story. Well, thanks for taking this. Thanks for taking this time to share your insight. Super proud of you. Miss all the freshman kids. You guys are awesome, but life goes on, and that's just how it goes. And excited to hear that you had a great year and you learned and you persevered, and you're being true to yourself, and excited for our current 8th graders to get to Helena High, and yeah, really appreciate you taking this time and doing this.
Yes, you're welcome, of course.
Awesome. Thanks, Hayden.